And you know, if Hawaiians, uh, you know, have some other idea of you know how this may work or may not work, and if you don't want to support it, can you please sign over your interests to us as we create this
To
committee.
you. You're
No,
gonna be another Walter
not so much me personally, but to the whole Native Hawaiian Bank organizing team.
Right, so our shares will just be bigger. Everybody's share will be
That's
bigger.
right. Yeah.
Everybody's share.
So if you don't believe in it, sign it over. And you know, Hawaiians not gonna do that.
Yeah,
I had several already that they were laughing after I got through explaining to them, and yeah, well, you know, I heard you was doing that a long time. I said, yeah, but there was a lot of politics going on. But you know what? If you don't believe in this, whatever, that's fine. I respect your opinion, but can you sign over your share? I'll take care of it. What do you mean? Right? You know, Hawaiians are like that, right? And, so I think it's very timely, it's very viable for our situation now. For all the trusts and the trustees, I hope you're watching, because pay attention to the money. You better check out your monitors, your money monitors, your custodians, your money managers, your broker of the record, all these guys that watch over the wealth of the agencies. We're watching them too, and how they go about doing their investments, you know, things that supposed to make money off interest, you know, or off investments. And you know, I know at one year, I forget which year it was, but OHA lost a lot of money. There's a lot of finagling going on. I've listed some of this chart specifically points out a strategic economic realignment plan, and it basically from a limited capacity to manage our assets, which is dependency, to eventually an independent capacity to seek economic independence. And this is, when you get down to that part, number one, under the Strategic Economic Realignment Plan, it was set up basically, I was working with, she passed away, Billy Beamer, and she gave me a lot of information to study on, and she was on this thing too, the bank situation. Then this is how we got this information. Basically points out the year 2000 and what OHA was going through. So, you know, on the paper we have the monitor, the custodian, the broker of the record, and the money managers at that time. Right. I don't know if they're still employed with OHA. Some may be, but I know some of them is gone already. But just the fact that people playing with this and we're not paying attention to that, we so to the left of things. That's right.
I wouldn't trust anyone over there to know what's going on in that area.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, if you think about how the trusts do come under local criticism for how they use their funds. You know, it's like, why aren't you investing in this, or why aren't you supporting this initiative or paying for this in the community? And they're, you know, many times they have a, you know, almost like it's already an unwritten rule that, you know, no, we can't let go of this much money. We're supposed to be here in perpetuity. And so then I'm thinking, well, then, you know, if you're not going to give it to us, give it to us indirectly by putting it into a bank. You know, they still can be in control of it. It's a deposit just like they have. It's just not here, but it's over here. But over here, it benefits the Native Hawaiian community.
Yeah, they can do that actually right now. But you know what? They've been given the chance already, and we should just go in, start our own Native Hawaiian owned and controlled bank, and we can do what we feel. We can hire the money monitors, we can hire the custodians, we can hire all these guys to actually run our bank.
Right.
You know, teach our kids you know, to get the better jobs, you know, become bankers and brokers and investment companies or whatever. Right. But take us into a whole different level of employment as well. Because there's tons of people, especially in the SRI category, socially responsible investments. That year in 2000, I think $17 trillion went through America. $3 trillion alone was through socially responsible investments. And those are investments that do good, that don't do harm. on anybody.
So things like investing in better communities or environmental issues, things like that.
Alcohol, tobacco, firearms, mass destruction, things like that is like cut out from the investments. Yeah, and so it really has relevance to what we're talking about now, because anything that you invest in that always do good, always going to make money, because you got a category of people that are good in general, and that's the ones going to look at that types of investments. But our bank needs to encompass all those things though.
Right.
The banks today are not doing that. They kind of saying they're doing that, but not really.
Right. Right.
And so there's so much avenues, so much opportunities that I believe we catch on to this, we'll get our country faster than we ever realize. As long as we depend on the banks to handle our funds while we seek political status, we'll we just have more problems and more problems.
Well, anybody out there who is interested in learning more information about this, I urge you to go onto their website, because I did go on the website and I downloaded all this stuff. I thought it was really great. And it doesn't read like a normal website. It reads like someone who's just talking to you, so it's not highfalutin and high maka as we would say. So it's interesting and it's clear. So go ahead and get on the website. It is bumpykanahele.com, and we'll put that at the end of our credits so that they can see it. And there's also information on the website of how to be able to get in touch with Bumpy. If you have any questions or you might have some suggestions, I'm sure they would be welcome.
Yeah, no problem. They're welcome.
So what's your next step? We're kind of wrapping up. I think we have a couple minutes left. What's the next thing that your group is going to be advocating at this point? Are you trying to make committees per island? Is that what you're doing now?
Right now, I wanna, and I'm gonna be asking you too, Manu. So, but just if you got time, if you want to learn more, or if you want to help get this off the ground, I think that's what's needed right now. Because I can see where a lot of both sides of the Akaka bill supporters will probably flock to this area, the ones that's on the fence especially, because they're looking for alternatives.
And then with the latest amendments that Lingle and Bennett went and negotiated for us as Hawaiians. I mean, how condescending can that be, that two non-Hawaiians go and, agree to amendments to the Akaka bill for Hawaiians? To me, it's like there's been so many last straws in all of this. It's amazing. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm thinking once those amendments, all of you, I'm sure, are aware of them, they're absolutely, I can just see a ton of people who used to be for Akaka saying, I cannot continue to be for Akaka. It would be foolish. So
now it's desperation.
Now it's desperation. So, okay, you don't want us to see from the nation, let's make a bank.
Yeah, no.
There are other solutions.
Yep.
There are other solutions that people are trying to make like don't exist, and they do.
Yeah. No, it exists. Definitely it does. Claim your economic right. You have an interest in this. If you're Hawaiian, and it doesn't have any kind of blood quantum on it, you're Hawaiian, claim your interest. That's yours to claim.
Well, mahalo nui, Bumpy, for coming. That was another edition of E Mau Ke'ea. I want to thank Bumpy for being my guest. Mahalo.
Aloha.
And aloha ahui ho. You've done an excellent thing, which really was interesting on your website. And anybody who's interested in the website, it's bumpykanahele.com. So I encourage you to look at it.